I'm Marilee Caruso. It's Monday, November 24th. Today, bail reform legislation.
A plan like this, in my view, is somewhat regressive.
Details behind Ontario legislation aimed at keeping repeat offenders behind bars, and if Manitoba could follow suit. Also today, shovels in the ground.
Will undoubtedly improve the lives of many families.
How many affordable units are going into this new development in Chinatown. Plus, volunteers urgently needed.
It's actually critical that we get things going right away because there's also a process.
As Safe Ride organizations plea for help ahead of the holiday season. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Bail reform remains a hot topic across the country, and tonight, the Ontario government has proposed a bill it believes will help keep repeat offenders behind bars. It requires defendants to pay cash security deposits before being released from custody. Live with the details is CTV's Taylor Brock. So, Taylor, could a similar bill be proposed here in Manitoba?
We're not sure yet, Marilee, but it is being looked at by local lawmakers. One lawyer here says it raises concerns for him, saying it could add inequalities to the justice system. Right now in Ontario, a cash deposit isn't needed if the court orders a bail release on a promise to pay. That means an accused person only has to pay if they break any of the terms of their release. The Ontario government says this can create potential challenges if they need to collect payment, straining time and resources. Under the proposed new system, if the accused follows the terms of their release, the deposit would eventually be returned. Ontario says this move is to help make bail, quote, real and consequential. But one Manitoba lawyer is calling it somewhat regressive, questioning whether it will help bail compliance.
The issue with this is going to be is that it treats people maybe unevenly. You know, a cash bail is something that not everyone can afford to pay. So are we suggesting that someone who can afford to pay this is more likely to be compliant with bail than someone who can't afford to pay it? And if they can't afford to pay it, do they then get essentially denied release?
The Ontario government is also proposing other measures, such as a database of people registered as guarantors as part of its bail reform strategy. That legislation is expected to be tabled tomorrow.
Taylor, what does Manitoba's Justice Minister think of this idea?
Marilee, Matt Weave says he needs to take a look at it first. CTV's Harrison Chin will have more from the Justice Minister coming up at 6.
All right, looking forward to it. Thanks, Taylor. A 67-year-old woman has died after being hit by a car in Osborne Village last week. It happened Friday afternoon around 1:20 at the intersection of Osborne Street and Roslyn Road. Police say the woman was crossing Osborne when she was hit by a 2014 Ford Fusion traveling westbound on Roslyn. She was taken to hospital in stable condition but has since died. The 32-year-old man driving the vehicle remained at the scene. Anyone who witnessed the crash is asked to contact Winnipeg Police Traffic Division. This was the 9th fatal motor vehicle collision involving a pedestrian so far this year. If you're passing through Winnipeg's Chinatown this week, you might notice some construction firing up.
Dump it. There we go.
Saturday, the federal government announced $20 million in combined funding to build a 7-story apartment building at the site of the former Shanghai restaurant at 232 King Street. It will have 54 affordable units. Principal architect Ray Wan says preparations started back in April and permits were ready by August. So people should start seeing a lot of activity this week.
Assuming all weather, no weather factors or delivery logistical issue, ideally 18 months. I personally think 18 to 20 months is reasonable. We're all ready. The shop drawings are all coming through, is all being answered. So I'm looking for a very exciting accelerated project.
The funding includes $14.3 million from Ottawa, $3.7 million from the province, and $2 million from the city's Housing Accelerator Fund agreement. A water main break that disrupted operations at a Winnipeg hospital over the weekend has been repaired. The Winnipeg Regional Health Authority says the water main break at Seven Oaks Hospital was repaired late last night. Hospital staff realized there had been a water main break Saturday after flooding was discovered around 10 that evening. A full water shutdown of the hospital took place while repairs could be made. Officials say work is now underway to fully restore all services at the hospital. The federal government is providing funds to the province to help improve access to health services in French.
The Government of Canada recognizes this and is working to ensure that Canadians are able to receive health services they need in the official languages of their choice.
The money will help collect data on patient language preferences and the languages spoken by the province's healthcare workforce. A virtual health initiative will also be launched to provide services in French for francophones living in rural and remote regions. The province will receive just over $2.1 million over the next 4 years as part of the announcement. Christmas party season is just around the corner, and that's worrying people at Operation Red Nose. The Safe Ride organization is facing a critical shortage of drivers.
Okay, thank you. Merry Christmas.
Right now, Operation Red Nose has fewer than 200 volunteers signed up, and officials say they need at least 600 volunteers to run smoothly. They had hoped to reach that goal by this Friday. Each year, Operation Red Nose provides safe rides home, keeping impaired drivers off the road. But without enough volunteers, that critical work is at risk.
It's actually critical that we get things going right away because there's also a process with a volunteer. We need to do some background work and make sure that all their licenses are good. And there's all sorts of little things that we need to do. So we do need some time to get people up and running. Plus, there's some training that has to happen if you've never volunteered before. So the sooner people can sign up, the better.
Operation Red Nose needs drivers and dispatchers and says shifts are flexible. If you can help out, go to rednosewinnipeg.ca. All right, let's bring in Colleen Brady now and get a first look at her Skywatch evening forecast. What are you tracking for us tonight, Colleen?
Well, a little bit of snow for a little bit of southern Manitoba. Oh. Yes, I know. It strikes fear in the hearts of many, I realize, because we haven't had very much so far this November, and we're almost at the end of November, if you can believe it. I just realized that we're 1 month away from Christmas Eve, by the way. Let that sink in. Anyway, I digress. A little bit of light snow popping up in the southwest corner of the province. I will show you where that snow is coming from and where it's headed and whether or not Winnipeg will see any of it coming up. But I will take you a look first through the Bathfitter Live Eye. Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. In Winnipeg right now, no snow here, partly cloudy, -2. With the wind chill, it feels like -6. Winds coming out of the northwest at 13 kilometers an hour. The pressure's rising and the humidity is 83%. Out in traffic on this Monday afternoon, a live look out onto the St. James Bridge. Traffic moving well in both directions.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Just by resting it on the top of the fireplace, you can have it go around on the area.
Coming up, how garland can take center stage at your home this holiday season.
Get Winnipeg's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
Hello there. Canadian and US stocks rose today after wavering last week on a fresh rally in giant technology and artificial intelligence plays. Shares in Alphabet, parent of Google, hit a new record high. The company's Gemini 3 AI model is getting good reviews, and it's seen as a threat to arch-rival OpenAI. On the markets, the Canadian dollar was at 70.9 US cents, down a fraction. West Texas Intermediate oil traded at $58.96 US a barrel, up 90 cents. Our latest fix on Western Canadian Select oil, $45.34, down 86 cents. And the TSX Composite ended the day at 30,604.35, up just over 443 points. Those are your business headlines. I'm Andrew Bell of BNN Bloomberg.
Market Watch is brought to you by Manitoba Blue Cross. Group health plans for any size business.
If you want Santa Claus to come to your house and say, hey, I love the look of that mantle, you got to come to St. Mary's Nursery and Garden Center. Carla, there's just so many different options.
There are, and you know what, we're talking about garlands, and there's so many different garlands now that are around. And I have to say that if you feel it and touch it, you can see where I say the expression. I know. They're called real feel garlands, and they have a different density or different look to them. So depending on whether you want to do it on a mantle, not everyone has a mantelpiece, but you can do it on a sideboard table, entrance tables. So the utilization of this is not just doorways and stairwells.
Everything,
So they're very traditional, that's in through there. And again, you want to choose the style that suits the area that you're going to. Like this one is almost ready to be simple by itself, pre-decorated and that. But what I do want to show you is there's one that is very, very popular right now. It's the Norfolk Pine garland, and then the mixed garland that we have through here. But what you can think about is how you want to blend them. I'm going to pick this one, and I'm going to show you. You can kind of put them together. Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Maybe if you have an older variety that has the more of the wiring, you can blend this into it, and it really makes it kind of pop, like oompa that's in it. But using a garland, and here we've got our little fireplace. I'm going to show you that if you just by resting it on the top of the fireplace, you can have it go around on the area, and this is where you want to blend it in and have it mixed with stuff. Now I grabbed some berries because we're in the burgundy sort of travel section. And what you want to do is just by taking some of the picks and giving it a direction on pushing it into some of the areas, it's going to give you some color to your garlands. Now, if I wanted to, I could place some ribbon in through here as well, and try and treat it sort of as it's going. Like, I would probably push this. I'm trying to do this fast for Kenny, so you can kind of get the idea. But if you're pushing in, and see how I'm not even wiring it, because if I want to change it the next year and I'm not gluing, and just because it's sparkly, you have to do sparkle.
Yeah, keep it till New Year's.
Keep it till New Year's and push them through. So staking it through, and just remember all of the different wiring that you have for different areas. You can use that wire, bend the wiring, give it a little bit of dimension. And now I want to show you. Everyone's got candlestick holders at home, if you have them. So incorporate them into your garland and put some to the front, some to the back, and that way you can start to see the elements that come together. And even if I wanted to, I've got a rose tree that's in here, tuck the little trees right beside it, and give yourself sort of that little feature. This will create something that is going to tie your fireplace into what your room is going to be design style. So come on down and see what there is, because there's so many different possibilities of decorating that we're showing you.
We didn't even show you 1/10 of it, so you guys got to come in.
You got to come in.
Get Growing is brought to you by St. Mary's Nursery and Garden Center. Get a lush yard and garden thanks to expert advice from gardening professionals.
American rock band is coming to Winnipeg. Why it's experiencing a music resurgence. Next in Spotlight.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
When you give a child a winter coat, you give them the means to go to school on a cold day, a chance to play outside, because no child should be freezing cold. Donate to Coats for Kids. Proudly sponsored by United Way Winnipeg and CTV.
Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg. Presenting Christmas with Johnny Reed.
Colleen Brady is back now for Spotlight. And Colleen, you and I got to know the Goo Goo Dolls back in the 90s thanks to their hit song Iris. And now I understand a new generation has discovered that song on TikTok.
Well, so it seems. Now both generations can see them in person when they come to Winnipeg for a show. Oh, very much a 90s song. What a throwback. Iris is the hit song, though, that keeps on rolling for the Goo Goo Dolls. It's been certified diamond in sales and has now accumulated over 5 billion streams to date. The band is going to be embarking on a cross-Canada tour that will bring them to Winnipeg on March 28th, where they will perform at Canada Life Centre. Tickets for the show go on sale this Friday at 10 through livenation.com.
See, kids, we are cool. This was our music.
You're welcome. You're welcome, kids.
All right. Now to some sad news. The world of reggae has lost a pioneer.
Indeed, Jimmy Cliff has died at the age of 81. Cliff may be best known to audiences outside Jamaica for his role in the 1972 film The Harder They Come. Its soundtrack, which included several performances by Cliff, helped introduce reggae to global audiences. According to Cliff's family, he died following a bout of pneumonia after suffering a seizure.
Wicked for Good is conjuring up some magic at the box office.
No surprise there. The American musical fantasy film has earned more than its predecessor in its debut.
What have you done to me?
Studio estimates say the new movie earned $150 million in its first days in North American theaters and $226 million globally. That's a lot of change. Globally, the conclusion, that's how much globally the box office it was. The conclusion to the story, merrily, is now the biggest opening ever for a Broadway musical adaptation and the second biggest debut of the year. Now You See Me, Now You Don't was second at the box office this weekend, followed by Predator, Badlands.
All I saw on social media was people taking in Wicked.
Wicked, wicked, wicked.
It was a wicked weekend,
Sure
I guess
was.
you could say. All right, a Superman comic book has just become the most expensive in the world.
That's right, Marilee, and it was recently discovered hidden away in an attic in California.
Wow.
This copy of Superman #1 made comic book history, shattering the record for any comic book, selling for $9.12 million.
Wow.
That's right.
That's quite a find.
Quite
in
a
the
chunk
attic.
of change there, too.
Jeez.
Yeah. It was authenticated and graded at a CGC 9, which is the sole highest for the issue.
All right, I'm going to my attic this weekend, seeing what I got in there.
Yeah, no doubt. Spend that time.
Thanks, Colleen.
Make that money. You're welcome. Your primetime lineup kicks off with St. Denis Medical at 7. At 7:30, there's more Right Comedy on Stumble. The Voice starts at 8. The Weakest Link is on at 9. It is all right here tonight on CTV.
The CTV Primetime lineup is brought to you by Strictly Amish, exclusively in Arbor, Manitoba.
Peak of the rush, and boy, does it ever look like it out there. Kenniston Boulevard, very busy. All those headlights in both directions, but no stalls or crashes to let you know about. Right now in the city, it's -2 degrees. I will show you what the forecast will look like for the rest of this week, coming right up.
Women's clothing provided by R.W. & Company. Salon services provided by S&Teak Spa Salon.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
Well, it is hard to believe it's almost the end of November, especially yesterday, Sunday. At least 18 communities, I believe it was, set warm weather records across Manitoba, most in the south, and of those, 10, including the city of Winnipeg, reached temperatures that were in the double digits. We'll take a closer look at that next hour. I'm going to show you a closer look at this snow in the corner of your screen popping up around Melita there. This is part of a bigger system. This is what's coming in behind, but a lot of this is not going to come into Manitoba. It looks like a little bit might, so if you are in those areas that are closer to the international border, you might get skimmed, a bit of a dusting, if you will, on the northern edge of this precipitation field. But watch this. This is going to dive down just nicely underneath the international border, and it will make its way through North Dakota into Minnesota, and then it pops back up in northwestern Ontario, closer to around Thunder Bay. In the meantime, by the time we get to tomorrow morning, cloudy across much of the province, but on the dry side, and the clouds are going to stick around. There's an outside chance. It's a very slim chance we might see a little bit of snow here in Winnipeg. I'm going to call it a slight chance at that, and that would be tomorrow morning. The rest of the day will be cloudy, will stay below freezing, and then we start to clear out tomorrow night. Over into Wednesday we go, when some of that cloud will start to part over the south, and we'll see some sunshine return. Not those double-digit temperatures, though. These are temperatures, though, closer to normal. But having said that, the normal daytime high for this time of year is -5. So even at -4 overnight tonight, that's still milder than the normal daytime high for this time of year. Clouds will increase, winds out of the northeast at 10 kilometers an hour, so light winds tonight. But with the passage of that system more so to the south. We will get some pretty strong north winds developing in the afternoon. Again, there's that low, even slight chance of snow during the day. Otherwise, it will be cloudy. Temperature doesn't move much. We stay sub-zero, a high of just -2 degrees. But again, -5 is the high for this time of year after all. Wednesday, mix of sun and cloud, -3 degrees. Then Thursday, Friday, sunshine or a mix of sun and cloud. Both those days a high of -5. Into the weekend we go. -6, -8 Saturday into Sunday. So we're gradually getting cooler with those daytime highs, but look at the drop off with those overnight lows. By the time we get to the weekend, Saturday night dropping down to -12. Sunday night, our overnight low is -17 degrees into Monday. Things are changing, folks, but not too quickly out in Grand Rapids. You can see there beautiful conditions. That photo was taken by David, and this next one's very nice too. You know, I don't know if the kids are still talking about squad goals, Marilee, but I think that's a squad goal right there. All those guys hanging out. This was here in Winnipeg. That photo is from Barb. Send us your weather photos to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
The CTV Skywatch Pick of the Day is brought to you by the Manitoba Chiropractors Association. We've got your back.
Holiday cheer rolled up to a Winnipeg restaurant Saturday on board a Heritage Transit bus. The Amalgamated Transit Union Local 1505 hosted its second annual Fill-A-Bus event outside Four Crowns restaurant. Union members loaded up the bus with toys, food, and cash donations, all in support of the Christmas Cheerboard.
Our members are in the community every day, seeing people that unfortunately have less, struggling to get by, can't pay the full fare because they got to put food on the table. So we are very committed to helping anybody out. Whether you're trying to get to work, trying to get groceries, or an event such as this that will provide that need that so many people need right now.
ATU Local 1505 says it raised more than $5,500 Saturday, gathered about 500 pounds of food, and collected 386 toys. Of course, the Christmas Cheerboard is still accepting donations. You can check out their website to see how you can chip in and help out families this holiday season. Great work by everybody there.
That's right. As you saw, that bus is heading straight to the North Pole,
Straight to the North Pole and then to those in need.
That's right.
All right. That does it for us this hour, but don't go far. We're back at 6 o'clock with much more local news. Hope to see you then.